Hey guys, Nick Armenis here. Welcome to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be taking through the best stock trading and investing apps in Australia. A lot of these you probably will have heard of, but I'm going to take you through the whole gambit of the best apps that I see out there. I'll also be covering off the big four banks and a bunch of other things, right? So by the end of this video, I hope that you'll be able to go, these are my requirements. This is the best broker for me. That's what I want you to get from this video, okay? Let's get into it. So guys, before we get any further, please note this is just my opinion on all these things, right? So I get plenty of things wrong here. So everything I tell you, please go and do some research on. And if you need a financial professional, go for it. I'm a dude on the internet, so at the end of the day, this is your responsibility, not mine. I'll do my best to bring to you the best ideas I have, but please take some responsibility, read through this. I don't want to get in trouble. Okay, so choosing the right broker for you. Everyone is going to have different requirements. I will take you through, generally speaking, for beginners, what I think are the best brokers, but let's get into my criteria. So the things to consider when getting a broker, guys, are obviously fees. That's the big one. To be honest, most of the time, fees are what's going to make or break a broker. So within that, size of trades, because some brokers may appear cheap, but then if you go over a certain threshold, they're no longer cheap and they become expensive. So have a look at the trade sizes and what the fees are according to your trade sizes. I'm not sure of you guys, how much you're trading and whatnot, but I know that some people that are trading big quantities, some of these brokers just don't cut it for them. The second one is trading frequency. So how often you trade, because sometimes certain brokers will give you free trades depending on how many you do, which changes the fee structure. Are you wanting to trade ASX or international shares, or both? Do you want a platform that has both? 4, you need to consider how the shares are held. Single HIN, so the broker has a single one, or an individual HIN. So how these are held basically means that if the broker were to go bust and you have a single HIN, that would fall under their HIN, right? So it's hard to say because there aren't lots of clear historical things that have happened. They have in some other jurisdictions, not so much here. It's not something I worry too much, but I do know that some people like to have an individual HIN. That's going to affect the fees though. So single HIN is normally cheaper than an individual HIN. So ease of platform use is a big one. Additional features. So are you wanting to trade CFDs, other instruments, Forex? Do you want limit market orders, live prices, research, charting, scanners? So the best thing to do with these sort of things is, yes, I'll highlight some of the ones that do this, but your best bet is to open a few of the ones that I recommend here and just play around and see what you like. This goes for ease of platform use as well. Have a look around the platform, give it a try. Most of these, I believe, are free to sign up. All of them are, from my understanding. All of these are free to open up, from my understanding. I don't think all of them have at least a free plan. And the last thing, guys, is the business track record, how long they've been around for. So obviously, newer businesses are higher risk than older ones. But to be fair, a lot of these things are insured up to a certain amount. So it's not a big factor. So my main emphasis here will be on international and ASX shares. Do they have this? And then the fee structure. But I'm going to get right into it, guys. I don't want to waste your time. I want to tell you who I think the best Aussie brokers for beginners are, okay? If you're a complete beginner, I believe Superhero is one of the best brokers. They just today released an app. So at the moment, it's ASX only. But literally today, they've released the actual iPhone and Android app. So they do have an app now. And while it's only ASX, guys, you get free buy trades on ETFs, right? So you could sit here stockpiling ETFs and just spend $5 when you want to sell them, right? So you might, over many years, amass a fortune in ETFs. It's just going to cost you $5 to sell. If you want to buy flat $5, if you want to buy individual shares, it's a flat $5, okay? If you want the full fee schedule, click here, but it's pretty simple, guys. Free trades on ETFs to buy, $5 to sell, and $5 for individual shares. I think it's an easy to use and the best looking dashboard. I'll take you through it separately, the app and the platform itself in a separate video, but everything is nice. You get tons of ideas on what to buy. And what I actually like the most, guys, is I found it very, very fast to load money using the Pay ID method. And basically, I was able to get money onto this app in less than 30 minutes. I was able to get money onto this app in less than 30 minutes, which was great because I saw something was happening at the end of the day. I wanted to buy this stock before the next day, and I was able to do it before the market closed, which is really, really awesome. So I found them very, very good at sending money and making it go live. Like at the same time, I had another platform, IG, took me way longer, right? For me, it's important to be able to get money there fast because I get certain ideas. Sometimes they're time sensitive. There are some cons, guys, and I know a lot of you will not want to use Superhero, and that's why I have some more recommendations coming. No individual HIN, so the way we're able to get such cheap brokerage is all of the stocks are traded on a single HIN, which Superhero owns. You still own these stocks, so they go through this in detail. You still own these stocks. It's just the way they're held is different. I wouldn't worry about it too much unless you have huge amounts of money invested there, in which case it's probably easier then to just go on one of the other platforms. Another thing is it's a relatively new business, so obviously the track record is not there, but guys, this app is fantastic. So live prices and market orders will cost money from $9 per month after June. So at the moment it's totally free if you want to try it. Personally, guys, if you're buying things long term, this is not going to matter. You don't need this. You can put, it shouldn't say market order. It should be limit orders will cost money and live prices. So live prices is not a big deal. Just have something like Commsec, which offers live prices to check. Check them in there if you want. But Superhero to me is probably less of a active traders kind of a platform unless they're trading in a different and using different charting. So Superhero is probably not the greatest for active traders. Doesn't have lots of charting capabilities, screeners and things like that. Gives you plenty of ideas. But yeah, again, currently only ASX. These are the downsides, but I still recommend any beginner signing up for this. It's very easy to use. You won't regret it, I don't think. Okay, so the next best broker for beginners is Stake. This is for US shares only, gives you access to 3,800 US stocks. Lots of names that you will be familiar with. The fees, there's $0 brokerage, which is fantastic. There's no FX charges on each trade, which a lot of the big four banks charge and other brokers. These guys make money from the money you send across. So basically, you will transfer money into an account that goes to Macquarie, and then once the AUD hits that account, you send it across to the US. They make 0.7% on the Forex spread. And then if you want it express, so next trading day, so if you do it on the Monday, for the Tuesday, that's when you will get it, right? So at the start of the next trading day. But for us Aussies, that's like 12 o'clock at night in Queensland time. They also do all the tax forms for you. It's a $5 fee. It's worth it because if you've ever done these forms yourself, they're very complicated and they're just not fun to do, and it'll take you ages and ages. Worth the $5 to spend. It's safe. This thing's been around for several years now. It's got over 100,000 customers, and you're allegedly insured for up to 500K per user in there. It does the tax forms, as I said, automatically, and it actually withholds the correct amount of tax from dividends, which I believe is 15%. We've got a tax treaty with the US, so 15% of the dividends will be withheld for tax in the US. The other cool thing is fractional shares are available and they're free. So, for example, Google's trading over $2,000. You might not want to buy a whole Google stock. You might want to buy $200 worth, right? So you will get a portion of it. So you'll get a 0.1 stake of that share. So 10% of a share. So you don't have to buy whole shares. So when you see, Berkshire Hathaway and all those massive companies have huge dollar shares, you don't have to buy the whole thing. So really, really cool. Cons, non-express transfers do take a few days, guys. The app can be a little bit slow in my view and sometimes a bit buggy, not ideal. This is mainly, I find, on the actual mobile app. The desktop version is pretty good. Reporting, I don't find it to be great, to be honest. That's one thing I missed on Superhero. Reporting's pretty good on Superhero. It's not ideal for traders unless the premium version is bought, where you get all the additional features. You've got no HIN or CHESS sponsorship. It's a bit of a complicated holding structure. So if this business was to go down in the unlikely event, it's very hard to understand how it would all work, because Stake is basically a fintech company. They're not really a broker. They allow you to buy shares and sell them, but they do it through a broker, a Forex bank, another bank as well, Macquarie. Like, it's a complicated process. I wouldn't worry about it too much. I've been using Stake for several years now. It's a fantastic app. It's free to sign up. I actually have a personal account and a company account as well. Gives you access to all these ETFs and companies that you just don't have access to in Australia. So I'm going to leave a link below. If you do use it, you don't have to. I'll get a free stock and you'll get a free stock. It's nothing amazing, but there's 3 stocks that you will be able to potentially receive, and you'll get one of those, sorry. So if you want to use that link, go for it. If not, all good. But here's a bit more on the fee structure and just a comparison. So if you wanted to pause the video and go through it, just gives you a bit of a comparison on some of the other brokers you might be using and how Stake is different. This is also available on their website. Now guys, a great, middle point, or if you're wanting to trade both ASX and international shares, is Selfwealth. Selfwealth is another great platform. This could very well be number one. Its fees are a little bit more expensive. So if you are a beginner and trading small amounts, it's probably a bit more expensive than Superhero, or Stake as well. But look guys, it offers both ASX and US shares, which is amazing. Fees are a flat $9.50 per trade. So $9.50 Australian for Australian trades and $9.50 US for US trades. It's also got a Forex spread of 0.6%. So it is, depending on how much you trade, maybe slightly more expensive than Stake. Individual HIN CHESS sponsorship for Australian shares. I don't believe that's the case for US shares, because it's obviously a different system. So you hold the shares on your own HIN. It's got a good range of trading tools and features. It's probably got far more than the other two, I would say. And it's got a bit of a community following as well. It's got definitely a bigger stock selection. So Stake sometimes doesn't have all the stocks you want, particularly some of the more obscure ones. So Selfwealth has more stocks available. The cons are there's fees on all trades, guys. So there's obviously not that feeless model there. It's only Australia, New Zealand. It's only the US and Australia. There's no other countries like some of the big 4 banks offer. You can't use your own bank account is probably the most annoying thing. I've just opened one of these, and you have to open an ANZ account with them to do this. I guess Stake is similar, but you don't actually really ever use the Macquarie account. But Selfwealth is a great option, guys, if you want one platform that does both reasonably well and reasonably affordable. It's probably the best middle of the run option. But if you're just wanting Australian shares and you're a beginner, this is still good. Superhero is going to be probably much cheaper than this, especially if you're buying multiple trades in small amounts. It's just going to be the $5 versus $9.50. And for US stocks, especially for smaller models, you then get the fractional shares as well with Stake. There's lots of cool things on there, less options, but yeah, this is a great middle point, and probably for people that want to use both, a great option. So now that I've told you my 3 favorite brokers, including an Australian one, a US one, and one that does both, how do the big 4 banks stack up? So guys, the big 4 banks who most people would start off with, and reason being, you've already got a bank account with them, it's easy to get going, right? The major issue with the big 4 banks are the fees. While some of these, mainly Commsec, have a small trade brokerage, it's still not that cheap. Standard rates are far more expensive than other options out there. You'll see most of them around the $20 per trade, so it'll end up being $40 per trade, and for international, even more. Larger trades cost even more. There's no flat fee model, because once you hit a certain point, they've all got like a percentage. And then so if you're doing big trades, all those big 4 banks are very, very expensive to actually trade in. And there's tons of other fees to look out for, guys. There's like inactivity fees. There's a fee for that, fee for this. It's actually fee upon fee upon fee with them. And their model is different. But They have access to international shares that you just don't get access to with some of the other ones I've mentioned. They all offer individual HINs. They're financially secure, government-backed, and have a very long track record as businesses, guys. You can't fault them on this bit. These are very unlikely to go under, and you're very unlikely to lose your money with them. That's sitting there, or your stocks, right? So that's not to say you won't lose money on share trades. You can still definitely do that. But again, I also find a lot of the platforms, particularly Commsec, are not overly user-friendly on the website. The app isn't too bad. But yeah, guys, it's easy to get started. So if you just want to get up and running quickly, no issue with this. But all the other ones that I've said are very easy to set up accounts with. So here's just a bit of a breakdown on the fees, right? So ANZ is up to 5K. Up to 5K with ANZ is $19.95 a trade, and then over that you're looking at $24.95 to $29.95 or 0.1% depending on what you do. As you can see, these are way higher fees, right? International is $59 a trade for 0 to 10K, and 10K and over is 0.59% plus a currency conversion. Just, guys, pause this and have a look at just how expensive the fees are. Commsec's not too bad. If you're wanting to do up to $1,000, it's $10. But then the international trades are very expensive, from $19 to $69.95 plus the currency conversion. NAB is okay up to 5,000, so $14.95. But then as you go over these guys, to be honest, I think NAB is probably the cheaper of these for most of them. But it does have a big currency spread there, as you can see. Westpac is just a flat $19.95 or 0.11%. So they're all 0.11% or 0.12% for ASX shares, and then they've all got a currency conversion. I couldn't actually find Westpac's currency conversion on their website, so if anyone does, please let me know in the comments below. Guys, let me know who you're using in the comments below. I'd really be interested to see who you're using. But as you can see from here, the fees are significantly higher than what I just told you, right? Superhero is lower, Stake is lower, Selfwealth is lower again. That's the big four banks, guys. I'm not telling you not to use them. There's nothing wrong with them. In fact, some of them are great share trading platforms. Westpac's got some pretty good screeners. Best bet is open one, play around with it if you don't want to muck around too much, but you're going to get stung with fees. And personally, I just don't want that. If you're not doing many trades, it's probably not going to matter. But yeah, I recommend looking at the ones that I said before and seeing if you like those. Go and open all three up, see if you like them, right? I've got some other notable mentions, guys. So other really solid brokers, and to be honest, IG Markets probably could have been on that list with Selfwealth. It's got great low fees. ASX stocks are $8 or 0.1%, and global stocks are totally free now. Extended hours trading on the US, which is cool. And if you trade CFDs, Forex, and other instruments, IG is pretty cool for all that stuff. The downside is I used to use them for years. Their customer service is terrible, guys. I had $10,000 stuck in there for probably about a month and just going around and round and round with major issues. I couldn't get it out. I have no idea to this day why. I'd been trading on there for a long time. Then they wanted me to verify my identity, which I did. And that's the only reason. Otherwise, it probably would have been one of the better brokers. Fees are pretty low. It's not a great app, to be honest, and neither is CMC. CMC Markets has okay fees as well, guys, $11 or 0.1%, and $0 on some international shares. I like that it does have quite a few international countries there, guys, US, Canada and stuff, but lots of other smaller ones. So it's a cool platform if you want to invest in a ton of different countries. And again, it's got plenty of investment products. So to be honest, if you're a trader and you want a bit more of the tools here and a bit more access to different instruments, these two are really, really cool. And the fees are pretty low, particularly on IG Markets. So these are another two solid ones to look at. Now, if you want something simpler, there are three investment, I guess. These are really apps. The other things are platforms. You got Spaceship Voyager, Raise, and Commsec Pocket App, right? Spaceship Voyager, basically you can regularly and automatically invest money from your bank account. So say you want to do $20 a week, $50 a week, whatever, and invest money from your bank account into this app, which is basically a managed fund. You don't get to choose which companies, but there are 3 funds now you can choose from. I'll do a detailed video on these apps in the future. I personally don't use them a lot. I just play around with them. I prefer to directly invest, but that's just me. With Raise, invest basically by rounding up on purchases that you make or depositing money and investing into 6 of their portfolios. So for people that don't really want to get bogged down in detail, these are very easy to use. And then the Commsec app is buy into 7 ETFs, which as little as $50 and $2 brokerage. So the Commsec app is not my favorite. It probably is the middle between these two to investing in real stocks and ETFs. But the other 2 make it much, much easier for beginner investors to get started. So definitely recommend give them a try, guys. It doesn't hurt, and just regularly contributing, just like I recommend with ETFs. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. As you can see, there's quite a few options out there. I've just put forward the ones I like the best. There's plenty more out there. Love for you to tell me which ones you're using and what content you want to see in the future. Thanks so much for listening. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and see you in the next video.